Hey everyone, welcome to today's explainer. So, the moment you realize you need a professional website built with Oxygen Builder, you usually hit this massive fork in the road, right? Do you hire a solo freelancer, or do you partner up with a full-fledged development agency? Now on the surface, it kinda just looks like a simple budget question. But as we'll see, this choice actually dictates your timeline, your stress levels, and ultimately the long-term success of your site. Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We're going to cover the development dilemma, specialists versus soloists, mobile performance, continuity and risk, scaling complex projects, and finally, the verdict on time, money, and your ROI.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the development dilemma, lower costs versus infrastructure. The appeal of a freelancer? Totally understandable. I mean, they offer lower initial costs and a very direct one-on-one communication channel. You're talking straight to the person actually building your site. But that direct line comes with a pretty heavy caveat, single-person dependency. On the flip side, an agency, take Viral Chili for example, brings a complete infrastructure to the table. You aren't just hiring hands to type out code. You're tapping into multiple specialists, established processes, and a built-in system of accountability.
Which leads us nicely into Section 2, specialists versus soloists, or really, the sheer power of teams.
Think about it. When you hire a solo freelancer, that one single person is juggling design, development, testing, and, let's be real, your panic-induced 2 a.m. emails, often all at the exact same time. But an agency operates much more like an orchestra. One expert crafts the visual design system. Another focuses purely on clean, scalable code. A third handles rigorous quality assurance across all devices. And the whole shebang is overseen by a dedicated project manager who makes sure everything hits the right notes.
And this brilliantly illustrates a core concept in software development called separation of concerns. It's essentially the practice of breaking a web project into distinct specialties. By doing this, deep expertise is applied to each specific role. The design team focuses heavily on user experience without having to worry about database queries. The developers, they write maintainable code without stressing over color palettes. This multi-layered approach is exactly why agencies consistently produce the highest quality, incredibly polished results. Everyone is doing exactly what they do best. No distractions.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, mobile performance and speed and how this impacts your revenue.
Now, this is absolutely crucial because a beautiful website that doesn't load is a website that simply doesn't make money. Just look at this number. The sheer scale of it is wild, 53%. According to the data, a staggering 53% of mobile users will abandon a website entirely if it takes longer than just 3 seconds to load. 3 seconds, that's it. Fast-loading sites dramatically reduce bounce rates and increase conversions. So, we aren't just talking about a technical metric here. This translates directly to lost revenue for your business.
Achieving that sub-3-second load time, that requires some serious, heavy-duty optimization. Now, while an experienced freelancer might know all the right optimization techniques, they rarely have the actual bandwidth to implement them thoroughly when they're also busy designing the site and answering your calls. An agency, however, treats performance as an absolute core requirement. Teams like Viral Chili employ developers who specialize in deep, technical performance tuning. We're talking things like code splitting, content delivery network configuration, and optimizing for mobile-first indexing, which is absolutely vital since Google ranks mobile versions first.
Let's transition to Section 4, continuity and risk reduction, or eliminating single-person dependency.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's basically a nightmare scenario for business owners. What happens if your freelancer goes silent? Seriously, if your solo developer becomes ill, gets overbooked, or just simply stops responding, your project completely stalls out. You're left with absolutely zero backup. And even worse, you might completely lose access details, documentation, and critical project knowledge, leaving you entirely stranded. Not fun.
Well, agencies fundamentally eliminate this risk. Team redundancy is built right into their cost by design. They rely on documented standard operating processes, which is a standard practice at agencies like Viral Chili, ensuring that knowledge is shared across multiple experts. If one person happens to be out, a replacement steps in seamlessly. This structure guarantees that your post-launch security patches, updates, and overall momentum continue without any dangerous interruptions.
All right, Section 5, scaling your complex projects and really future-proofing your site.
As your business grows, your digital presence has to grow with it, and complex Oxygen Builder development requires some serious strategy. This is exactly why specialized white label agencies like Viral Chili rely on a strict 6-step methodology. They don't just, jump right into coding. They build prototypes and wireframes first to test assumptions before design even begins. This prevents scope creep, whether you're building a simple brochure site or a massive high-performance Oxygen WooCommerce integration. A freelancer might skip these steps to reduce upfront costs, sure, but that hidden cost usually rears its ugly head later when functionality fails.
And honestly, this isn't just some passing trend, it's the gold standard. Today, 93% of web designers are using structured processes and AI tools. Partnering with a coordinated agency team ensures you are leveraging the absolute latest tech. It completely prevents that incredibly frustrating and, let's face it, very expensive cycle of having to tear down and rebuild your entire site from scratch a year from now when your business needs inevitably expand.
Bringing it all together now in Section 6, the final verdict on time, money, and ROI. Let's look objectively at the numbers here. Freelancers are highly effective for simple projects with flexible timelines. They typically charge somewhere between $2,000 and $10,000 and take roughly 4 to 8 weeks. Agencies, on the other hand, start around $5,000 and can scale up from there, taking maybe 6 to 10 weeks. Now, it's really vital to understand that this extra time and cost, it isn't inefficiency. Actually, scratch that, it's the exact opposite. It's a direct investment in the rigorous planning, wireframing, and deep quality control testing we've been talking about.
And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway from today's explainer. An agency's upfront strategy really does pay for itself by preventing expensive mistakes and major design changes down the line. Getting it right the first time and knowing you have a reliable team like Viral Chili in your corner for post-launch support matters far, far more to your bottom line than saving a few $1,000s on day one.
Since your website is literally the 24/7 digital face of your business, I want to leave you with this provocative question to ponder. Are you saving money today or investing in your growth tomorrow? You really have to ask yourself whether your current project requires just a quick, simple build, or if what you truly need is a scalable, fully supported digital foundation that will drive your business forward for years to come. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I hope this helps you make the absolute best decision for your next project.